Hi everybody, I am Thomas from Virginia Outdoors Unlimited, and today we are going to be doing something that I've never done on my channel before, but I am very excited to do, and that is going to be a blind build. So currently we are at a new spot that we have never hunted before actually. This is one of Drew's spots. It's about a 4.5 to 5 acre wooded pond out here closer to where we go to college. And we've actually scouted this pond a little bit. We scouted a good bit during late goose season last year looking for geese, and during that time it was holding a handful of ducks, probably I'd say 10 to 20, but there's just a lot of food around this pond. It's easy for us to access it. We can put a generator down here, run an ice heater, so we figured this would be a perfect spot to put in a blind. Nothing big, we're just running basically, it's going to be like an 8 foot by 3 foot, just a little bit of a roof, and I'll show you all the plans here in a second. But what we've done, we've actually spent the past few hours already pre-cutting our timber. So I'll show you all exactly what we have timber-wise here. We have two 8 foot 4x4s. We have two 6 foot 4x4s. We have a like 15 2x4 by 3 foots. Then we have two 2x4 by 8 foots. And then lastly, we have our big piece of plywood that we're gonna use as flooring. So I'll show you all the plans here real quick. So as you see, here's our plans. I'm not an architect or a carpenter, so this is just my rough design. But basically, as you can see, this is the side view of what it's going to look like here. And this is what we're going to be putting in today, is just the floor, kind of stage one as we're going to call it. So as you can see, we're going to have our 4 4x4s as the corners. Then we're going to be running our two 8 foot 2x4s along the outside, and then basically running like slats. We're going to use those little 2x4x3s as slats to run through here, and then that way we'll have some support for the plywood flooring. So in total, we really need about 9 of those slats. I think the toughest part is probably going to be driving these posts. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all this wood, we're going to load it up in my boat, take it across the pond. I'll show you the spot before we start work, but then basically we're just going to be starting work. We're going to be driving the posts in, doing the framing with the 2x4s, and then the last part will be laying the plywood. So hopefully it all goes smoothly and we're gonna get started. Well, we made it over with our boat full of wood. This is gonna be our spot right here. So this is kind of gonna be here's the view. Pond, the creek that feeds the pond is down here. And then back over there is the launch, and then it kind of hooks back around and into here a little bit. But this is where most of your vegetation is. Good bit of lily pads, good bit of smartweed. So yeah, we're gonna be driving posts right here on the shore. So yeah, the blind's going right where Drew's standing right now. Should have a nice view facing west, so won't have any worries about the sun, and should be good for north wind days or south wind days. So we're gonna start driving posts here. I'm gonna throw up a GoPro and we'll see how this goes. Alright everybody, so we just got these posts down. Should have had a little bit of slow motion on the GoPro. But basically what we did, these were our shorter of our two 4x4s. These were 6 footers because we want it shorter in the front, and then we're going to have taller 4x4s in the back so that we can build a roof, a little overhang. So what we did, basically, this is deep swamp mud basically. So we just took our basically hole digger, post digger. If you ever lived on a farm, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But dug one hole, got this right post set, then basically measured out 8 feet. We were originally thinking to the right, but it was just a little bit too wet over there. So we went to the left, did another, measured out 8 feet, put that post in, 36 inches down. That's how far we set them to try and get a good solid base. So we leveled them out. Should be, about as close as you're going to get without precision leveling and just measuring with the tape measure. So we're going to take a quick breather here, and then we're going to set the post in the back, and then hopefully be ready to start framing. So stick with us. All right, so we just worked our butt off for about, I don't know, hour and a half, and got our 4 posts set. Y'all can kind of see what we're going for here. Raised posts in the back for a roof, lower posts in the front. We're gonna put our front wall up right there. So the next step we're gonna be doing is just letting these kind of set. Like I said, got them down 36 inches. Then we'll be putting on the outside 2x4s, then running the inside struts, and then the plywood will go down over top. So we're gonna head on home, all burned up, tired, so take a break and we'll be back out here tomorrow going for it. All right, everybody, so we are back out here next morning. Actually just jumped 3 wood ducks right off here. Y'all can see a couple feathers, so good sign. First ducks we've seen on the pond this year, so hopefully all this smartweed in here will be bringing them in. But what we're doing today, we really don't have actually that much to do. We're just going to put an 8-footer across the front and the back as framing for the floor, and then just run 3-foot slats every 12 inches, and I'll set up the GoPro again. But our posts that we set yesterday, they're pretty solid. The only one that's kind of shaky is that back right one, so we might eventually do some cross bracing, but our floor is going to be elevated about 6 inches off the ground, so we're going to get to measuring, get our spots marked out, and then fire up the drill and put in these 2x4s here. So we're going to get started. Alright, everybody, so it is about noon. We've been working. We actually had to end up go and charge the drill for like an hour and a half, right when we wanted to start working. So it's about noon. We got a good bit of our floor framing done. We just about ready to put the plywood on. So I'm going to show you all exactly what we've got done and then what we're going to be doing next here. So here's what we got done. We got the framing. As you can see, we ran those 2x4x8s on the front here and back, and then ran 3-foot 2x4s all the way across here to give us our support. We actually were a little bit short. We cut these for 36 inches. We probably should have come about 38. So we had to take 2 of our 2x4s. Luckily we had some extras because I had a feeling something like this might happen. And so we put those, we just screwed those into the back piece, into the back 2x8 or 2x4x8. So as you can see, not very even, not very symmetrical, and we're actually about to put one here in the center just to get it steady. That's the plan. We're going to get our flooring framing done. I'll show you all once that's all completed, and then we'll go ahead and put on this big piece of plywood. Here is our somewhat finished stage 1. So this is pretty much what we set out to accomplish. Our drill ran out of battery again, so we haven't actually got around to screwing in some of the final pieces. But I'll show you also. There's our plywood floor. That's what we needed the struts to support in there. And I mean, y'all can see the plywood's not perfect. We actually had to pre-cut it, but with the pre-cutting abilities we had and stuff like that, we'll take it. So there's your plywood floor, 8-foot by 3-foot just about. We may need to eventually do some expansion on it, but I think this will work for the moment being. And then actually also one thing I want to point out is that this center here was sagging. So as you can see, our long 8-foot 2x4s, they're only connected there to the corner 4x4s. So they were kind of sagging in the middle. So went ahead and put a support block here in the back, and then I just threw a 2x4. I'll show you all in the front, just there, just to give it some support. So that's the end of part 1 pretty much. Got done, like I said, pretty much what we needed to get done. We'll come back here probably in a week or 2, and then I will be putting out part 2, so stay alert for that. We're going to try to have this done before our early October duck season here in Virginia. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, things of that nature, just drop them down below. And thanks for watching.